Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well, and welcome to another lockdown edition of our videos. Today I'm going to talk to you about this chart of Bitcoin and what this potentially could be telling us going forward. Before I start, let me also say I hope you and your family are keeping healthy and safe, and I wish you all the best going forward. Anyway, let's go back to the chart of Bitcoin. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, nothing much has changed since my last update to you about this, because take a look over here, and you will see that Bitcoin currently right now is still hovering above a key level that I mentioned to you last time as well, in my previous videos. By the way, if this video shakes a little bit, my apologies. It's a bit difficult to hold this video steady when I'm talking and bringing this chart close as well. So my apologies in advance. But anyway, I mentioned to you in my previous videos about a few weeks ago that Bitcoin had bounced off a key level. That was the 200 weekly moving average, the red line you see on my chart there, as you can see. Notice the Bitcoin pretty much held this level, went below it slightly, well, let's say slightly, well, closed below it slightly, and then went back above it. And you can see bounced strongly off that level. So that's actually pretty bullish. The fact that Bitcoin managed to fall down to that level, did go below it, but then eventually managed to recover, close back above it, and then rally. You can see it managed to, as a matter of fact, rally above that level here. Because the reason that's bullish, because that's pretty much what Bitcoin did back in 2018, 2019. Take a look at this. And you'll see pretty much the same thing. Bitcoin crashed over here. As you can see, crash occurred here. Look where it dropped down to. Again, the red line, the 200 weekly moving average right there. Held that level beautifully, as you can see. Held that 200 weekly moving average absolutely just beautifully there after the crash occurred. And then managed to eventually rally higher from there. All right, guys. So, by the way, notice it tested that level twice back then in 2018, 2019. So one of the reasons why this makes me hopeful for Bitcoin is the fact that we're still holding above the 200 weekly average, as you can see there on the chart, showing to us that bulls still are in control, as we can see there. And again, as long as Bitcoin continues to maintain that 5,600 level, which is where the weekly 200 moving average is, as long as it maintains that weekly 200 moving average, again, bulls continue to remain in control. Now, let me tell you what I'm looking at specifically on this chart, just above this chart here, and why it's quite important. And that thing is, yes, guys, volatility. You see, what I have here on my chart is what's called average true range, ATR. As you can see there, top right-hand corner of my chart, average true range on Bitcoin. So average true range essentially is measuring volatility, the range, the average of the range of the bars. So the reason why this is important is because of this. If you just take a look over here, so let me just bring this closer, you can see it. Back in 2018, let me just bring this closer. When after this market, after Bitcoin crashed and fell to the 200 moving average, notice what happened here. Volatility had to drop before Bitcoin eventually bottomed out. Let me just bring a pen here so you can actually see it. What I want to point to is what's happening here on this part of the screen. So notice these small range bars. You see this over here? These small range bars. So what I don't want to see is too much of these big range bars, all right? We don't want to see too much of that. I want to see these small range bars, small bodied bars, because they correspond, those bars correspond with a lower volatility. Look at the volatility here. So back in 2018, volatility had dropped. See this? In fact, you can see it decreasing volatility all the way through before Bitcoin eventually managed to bottom out there, and before sort of the major uptrend, before sort of this major parabolic rally you're seeing here, okay? So that's why I want to see these small range bars on Bitcoin in combination with a drop in the average true range, drop in the volatility. All right, guys? So do we have that right now in Bitcoin? I would say probably not yet anyway. Take a look at the average true range. So the average true range here, yeah, just look over here. So volatility is beginning to drop on the weekly charts. It's beginning to drop, but it's not yet there. So it's still not even close to the beginning of the year, 2020 lows. I would like to see the volatility drop here from where it's currently at 1,300 levels down to 1,000. So we're not there yet. So as you can see, volatility is still pretty high. And I would like to see these range bars. You can see these bars here on the right-hand side. This is actually hopeful. Notice after these big range bars, you can see are very long spike bars. We're beginning to now see these small range bars. You see this over here? Very small range bars. That's good. That's what I would like to see. So we at least have had a couple of weeks of these small range bodied bars. I would like to see more of that. So these are good signs for Bitcoin going forward. We're seeing the volatility drop. We're seeing the size of the bars getting smaller in in the kind of range of the bars from the highs and lows, and we're seeing the volatility coming down quite a bit. Well, it's not there yet, but it's getting there. So that's the two things we need to watch out for, guys. And I would also like to see Bitcoin holding above the 200 weekly average at a minimum. And I'll see you guys in the next video update. Bye for now.